Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. Well, I am back and I have had a lot of adventures, got a lot of good hands-on use with different outdoor tools. Anyway, I expected to come back, I've been back a few days, but I expected to come back to just choking smoke and wildfires all over the place, but instead I came back right after a massive windstorm. And the windstorm knocked out power, it knocked out water, it basically brought a lot of the area to a standstill. It looked like a war zone coming in. I mean, trees down everywhere, the power lines down, streets closed because of that, just debris all over the place. And get this, even warnings of electrified rivers, because power lines were in the rivers. And in fact, the Blackfoot River, famous river around here, great fishing, in fact, it's known as the river that runs through it. That one had an electrification warning. I've never heard of that before. But anyway, I got a lot to do, a lot of catching up, a lot of videos, so I best get to it. And what I'm going to do today is start out with what turns out to be my new favorite utility knife. Now, I've got a lot of favorites. I've highlighted that Fiskars Pro a lot. I love just the classic lines of the Civivi here. Fun. Different Olight ones, including this O-Tackle Pro, which is solid titanium, really simple design, very thin, but, and of course Klein and Milwaukee traditional utilities, but check this out. This is a CobraTec Out-the-Front utility knife. Did you catch that? Pretty cool. Uses a kind of I would have to call that a liner lock or even a frame lock. I don't know if there's a name for it. They call it a spring. But basically you just push that to the side a little bit and it releases the grip on the blade, so you can put, of course, any blade you want. In fact, this is something kind of interesting. I was always curious. These out-the-front knives, a lot of them have a mechanism that if they encounter something during launch, that they'll actually stop. But this, did you see that? I can link it up again. I was always curious how much force there was in the mechanism. It's not much. That's it. But I've never wanted to do that with a live blade. Now, Cobratec's company out of Meridian, Texas. They call it kind of a small family-owned company. I don't know how small it can be, because if you actually go to the website and look at all of their knives, they have just tons of them. They have liner or frame lock knives, fixed blade knives, bar lock knives, or kind of the axis lock. They've got a lot of out the front knives. Now, probably the most famous out the front knife is the Benchmade Infidel. It's pushing $500-600 if you can find one. So sometimes people talk about Microtech as being a more affordable or a poor man's Benchmade. Well, this is sometimes described as the poor man's Microtech. Now, I don't know how poor you have to be in order to spend $90 on a utility knife, but the more I use this, the more fun it is. And so fast, use it. Now, a lot of utility knives have, buttons to either hold the blade out, so as soon as you release it, it goes back in, but those kind of aren't that great because you have to keep pressure on it to keep it out. The different folding mechanisms, the different buttons to start and stop. And this one's just so handy. And because it's a utility blade, I can just beat the heck out of it, and I'm not too worried about it, and then throw a new blade on. Or just reverse this one. I did wonder if this was if I sprung this. Here's what I was thinking is if I took the blade out, but let's say that this over time starts to not spring quite as much right there. I wondered if I could bend it back. I bet I can open this thing up. In fact, if you go to the Cobratec website, they show you how to open these and clean them. Real simple, pop the screws. Actually, first thing you do is you release the tension just like that. If you have an actual blade in the knife, had a little bit of a learning curve when I was trying to learn all about these things. You put it out and then you hold it and then release it. So you can kill it that way too. Then you can take it apart without it being under tension. I do wish, I want to reset it, just do that. I do wish it had a deep carry pocket clip. That is something that I think all pocket clips should be deep carry. This camera focus there. I don't know why they don't have deep carry everything now. That one doesn't count because it doesn't work. But anyway, this is the CobraTec Out-the-Front utility knife. As far as I know, this one only comes in black. They do have one with a side switch, or a spine switch, I guess. This is a newer design. These are often carried on the tool trucks, or the Cobratec brand, and that's where I got this one. It's actually a Cobratec tool that a Snap-on dealer decided, you know, I'm going to carry the Cobratec line. Now I've been exposed to these before. I wasn't that keen on, you know, carrying an out-the-front knife simply because I was worried about gumming up the mechanism and it not working reliably. But I'm impressed with this, and this is my new favorite utility knife. And with that, I'm back, and Doc out.